England were the team to beat. Italy actually took the lead at one point.
I think after the second round, that's when we can tell, because everyone would have played home and away.
Do you think France have... well, they're not playing like France, are they?
They're really not.
Eddie Jones did say that he picked players on form. He's not doing that.
When it comes to the Six Nations, England are the informed team.
He knows that they can do it, so he's going to drag them in. But they're not doing it.
To make it currently 2-2 after the first round.
With Scotland's help, Moxy finds himself a single point ahead, 6 points to 7 as we enter round 4. We can see it now stands in my favour, 10-9. Hey guys, welcome once again to the Sauna Studio for the final episode of the breakdown for the UTS podcast. I'm Dan Lodge and we have been looking at the final round, the last week of the Six Nations. Ireland picking up a Grand Slam, Scotland coming away with a bit of a thorny win against Italy, and Wales just about scraping by against France. I am joined by Mark Moxy Collier, who, as you can see, did not pick up a win in the final round.
Tonight, I'm actually called Russell.
If you're watching for the first time, the point scoring system is really simple. If we can predict the exact result and the correct winning side, we got ourselves 5 points. If we can't, but we can predict the winning margin and the correct winning side, of course, we get ourselves 3 points. But if we can't do either of that, but we are successful in predicting that one side will win over the other, we get ourselves just a point. Well, we'll kick things off then with Scotland on the road to Italy, picking up quite a comfortable win, 2 points, 29-27. I say fairly comfortable.
Come on, let's do this properly.
Let's do this properly. I say fairly comfortable because I thought in stages, I thought Scotland looked very strong.
Yeah, he did.
They looked comfortable, which, obviously is what you want, especially away from home, because we've spoken so much about how important the home form is. But at the same time, they discussed this as well in the post-game coverage on ITV, that actually that was probably Italy's best performance.
Yeah, they played really well. They brought a few new lads in. Obviously, Pelledri from Gloucester. He's been playing so well at Gloucester, and he showed that he's a natural in that, in international rugby. He played really well. Again,
I think almost the kind of cliche now for this kind of show where we say that Italy were really good, but just not all the time.
They possibly deserve more. They definitely deserve more at the tournament. Never mind that game, but yeah, they have played well in patches, and I think they had more patches against Scotland, and they were unlucky to come away with losing by 2 points. But unfortunately, that's the way it goes for Italy. Unfortunately,
they've got to be able to we discussed this as well about Ireland, and we'll get on to Ireland in a little bit. But we were saying that they do well up until the substitutions come on, but they're not killing teams off. I feel like this is a game Italy really should have killed it when they had the lead.
It's almost, their finishers aren't starting, are they?
No.
They're coming on and not influencing the game like other teams.
Laidlaw for Scotland, obviously the penalty in the dying minutes. He's a huge player for Scotland. Where does Scotland go? And I'm not suggesting this is going to be anytime soon, but when Laidlaw comes to hang his boots up, where are Scotland going to go?
Don't know. I'm sure they'll find somebody. They had Gavin Hastings. He was a massive guy with a boot. Laidlaw, he's been doing it. There'll be somebody there. It might not be straight away, but they'll pick somebody up. I'm sure they will.
We predicted a Scotland win. I don't think either of us thought it was going to be as tight as it was. I think I predicted a 9-point 26-17 win, and you, in a kind of gutsy call, I thought at the start, 13 points. That's very specific.
I don't know where that came from, to be honest. I just thought, I thought Scotland would go back to how they played against England and maybe put a load of points on.
Either way, though, Laidlaw's boot in the dying minutes managed to bag ourselves a point each. All right then, the big one. England versus Ireland in Twickenham. Ireland haven't won there since 2010. And managed to come away with a 24-15 win, a 9-point margin. Has to be said, they looked comfortable throughout the game. For me, at least. Slightly biased, I'll admit.
Yeah, England they haven't fired. In this whole tournament, they haven't fired. Against Ireland, it was always going to be tough, even with home advantage.
Yeah.
It was always going to be tough. You know, Eddie Jones obviously tried shaking up a bit. He brought a few new players in, well, different players anyway. He tried making them attack, you know, a bit better. I didn't really see it too often, but once Ireland went 14 points up, it was always going to be tough. I mean, that you can say that the first try shouldn't have been because of a knock on, but hey, England benefited against Wales earlier in the tournament, so there's no qualms there. But Ireland were just the better side. Simple as that.
I think it would have been interesting to see how the game would have fared had that been given as a knock-on. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you could say, arguably, surely England should have had a reaction to that. The fact that it was given under those circumstances.
Yeah, I mean,
A few of the leaders in the pack under the post should have said, right, this, you know, it's done now. There's nothing we can do about it. We need to respond because the reaction is key.
What was it after?
The reaction wasn't there.
Like you say, got everyone behind the posts, said, right, this ain't good enough. You know, we've got to stop this party. We've got to stop this parade that Ireland are going on. Get together. Let's you know, grab each other by the shirt, push on. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming to our manor. They're coming to Twickenham HQ. We're not going away here, you know, with anything other than a W.
And it's interesting as well because we discussed that just the third ever Grand Slam. I think that's the fourth time they've ever won the Six Nations since it became a 6-team competition. The first one was in 2009.
They're ridiculous stats because
Yeah,
Ireland are a much better side than that.
yeah. Unbelievable. It's literally since 2009 was the first time they won the 6-team format. Obviously they'd won the 5 nations before and the home nations championship before. But since 2000 when it became a 6-team format, a 6-team tournament, only the 4th time they've won it this year. Mad.
That's staggering. I mean, England obviously the fans, me included, it's our arrogance, I think, to think that we're going to win it every year. You know, and that's why. I mean, we're not so much down. It's just we're so disappointed with our players that we expect more.
Yeah. Obviously, there's been a little bit of a debate, if you've seen on social media, England extending the in-goal area by 3 metres, which then led to
That was a wise
Stockdale's
move. Wise move.
Led to Stockdale's try, of course. Again, do you think that was part of maybe Eddie Jones's arrogance a little bit? Or do you think it was a game plan and they just... Well, it's hard to say that, really, because obviously you might have a game plan and you say extend it if, you know, you look at England's try where they
I think what they should have done was
behind the defence.
Rather than extend it behind the post, they should have extended it in front of the posts, make it smaller, because England just don't get past that gain line.
Yeah.
You know, make the pitch smaller, not the in-goal area. Make the pitch smaller.
Just pitch as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a little bit worried when they scored their first try, the kick in behind, and that tap down in the corner. And I thought, well, that's it now. Every time they get near the line, that's what we're going to be looking at, especially with the extended goal areas. And that was it then. They did it once, and it worked, and then for some reason, they never went back to it.
But I don't get why Farrell didn't try those, because he's usually always trying the kick in behind. You know, with Johnny May there with his pace.
Yeah.
You know, Elliot Daly, just. But why would you extend that area if you're not going to try those kicks?
There you go. It's I don't know. I don't have an answer, to be honest.
Maybe if you've got a game plan, at least tell the players your game plan.
Yeah. I have no answer. I literally no. It's absolutely true. Like, and if the first time it worked, so it proves if they can run more things like that, there's a chance they will pay off. And they did it once and it worked, and then they never tried it again.
No.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, the match, obviously Ireland picking up the win, so I got myself a point. Moxy didn't, because he voted for an England win. However, how close was I to picking up 3 points on this?
I know. That would have really rubbed it in, wouldn't it?
Owen Farrell missing just to the right of the post with the kick would have got me a lovely 3 points and ended this completely. I think by then you would have needed an exact result with Wales and Italy, or Wales and France, excuse me, in order to come away with that. But as it was, Owen Farrell did you a favour, kept you in it until the last game. But yeah, a point for me and no points for Moxy on that one. Well, the final game then, Wales versus France, a single point in it. Wales coming away 14-13 winners. I thought we'd see more of a show, if I'm honest.
Well, again, the same as it was before when there was Grand Slams like before. Was it after the Lord Mayor show? People weren't really bothered about this.
No.
I think the only thing on this game was where these two teams would finish in the table.
Yeah.
And condemning England to being so far down in fifth.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that people were worried about.
I don't really have an awful lot to say about the game. I haven't got an awful lot of notes on it. It was good to see them both try and play rugby a little bit, but it was like a really kind of mid-table, nothing really to play for. Like the highest we can get is second from a Wales point of view.
Well, I mean, obviously,
you know,
being a Wales fan, it's great to see Wales coming second in the tournament. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. There are so many fine margins in the whole tournament. You know, France could have beaten Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wales should have probably beaten England. So, again, it's just such a great sport, and the thing could have been so much different.
Well, there you go. A point each for us after that one, and we'll take a quick look at the final result between myself and Moxy. Obviously, we know who the winner is, but let's just have a quick recap and see where the scores. Moxy needed a winning margin following the Wales game in order to claim a draw at the absolute minimum. Needed an exact score to get a win, and unfortunately Wales and France have not delivered for him. I think this is kind of fitting though, because France didn't deliver for me in the second round. I think I can't remember who they were playing, but I said they were going to win. Oh no, it was a France-Scotland game. I predicted France and you predicted Scotland.
That's right, yeah, that's where I picked up my... That's why I overtook you, wasn't it? That's why I took the lead.
Thank you, France. You have redeemed yourself.
Bonjour.
Let's take a quick look at the scores then. After round 4, I was in the lead 10 points to 9. And as it stands now, the final score, 13-11 in my favour. Well then, now that the dust has settled, let's take a quick look at the final Six Nations table for 2018. Ireland sitting top with a Grand Slam win, 3 winning bonus points out of the 5 games. Interesting as well, another 3 bonus points for Ireland for bagging the Grand Slam for a total of 26 points.
I don't understand that. What?
No.
What's the point?
Yeah.
You've beaten every team, so you're obviously going to win it. What does that achieve?
Not a clue.
Just a bigger, better points tally.
I guess so. I don't know. I didn't even.
Why not round it up to 30?
Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing actually until I looked at it today and I was like, well, they've got 26 points, but they've only got 3 bonus points. But apparently if you win the Grand Slam, you get 3 bonus points as well.
Okay.
So there you go. The wacky world of Six Nations rugby, ladies and gents. Anyway, Wales finishing in second, 3 wins, 2 losses, 3 bonus points for a total of 15 points. Scotland taking third, 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 bonus point, 13 points. France ended up in fourth with 2 wins, 3 losses, 3 bonus points and 11 points. England in fifth, 2 wins, 3 losses, 2 bonus points and 10 points. And Italy finish in 6th with no wins at all, 5 losses. Their only point coming from that bonus point loss to Scotland. But compared to our predictions table back at the start of the tournament, just before we wrap things up then, any big standout moments or shocks in the tournament for you?
Well, obviously the 2 where Wales and England finished.
Yeah.
They were the biggest shocks. No, I think France being quite poor at times. We knew Italy would do what they did, play well in patches, but ultimately not be good enough. You've got to say Ireland. They just they did their thing, and they were hands down the best team in the tournament, and they deserved to win the Grand Slam. Absolutely. There was no two ways about it. They were the best.
I think probably the two for me would be the Scotland performance against England, because I don't think anybody in the world would have predicted that. That was a complete out of the blue. Not to kind of put Scotland down or anything, but I could have watched that game 100 times and I would have never predicted that style. Not just the result, but the performance they put with it. And of course, the other one I think would probably be the Ireland Grand Slam, because I don't think. I mean, I'm a big of Ireland fan as anybody else, but no, even I wouldn't have said a Grand Slam was possible this year.
But I mean, Ireland's rise began in Chicago.
Yeah, the New Zealand result. Absolutely.
When they played in Chicago, the whole world sat up and thought, "Oh, hang on a minute, what's going on here?" And they've just seemed to get better and better and better, and culminating in what happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
On St Patrick's Day.
On St Patrick's Day. Well, that just about wraps things up for an incredible Six Nations tournament in 2018. If you've seen some of the series before, but maybe not all of them, or maybe this is the first show you've seen, feel free to go back and watch all of the other episodes. They're completely free on our YouTube page, and you can follow our predictions and our progress through the 2018 tournament. We're eventually going to get around to uploading some of the episodes from the SoundCloud account, some of our monthly podcast shows up onto the YouTube. So if you're a fan of this YouTube series, a fan of the podcast, make sure you go and click subscribe, and then they'll come straight to you. If you're more of an audio person though, don't worry, you can go and check out all of our shows on the SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com/Cheltenham Saracens RFC, or on iTunes. And they're all absolutely free. We're never going to charge you, so make sure you go and check them out, and you can listen as much or as little as you like. And of course, if you do follow us on iTunes, make sure you give us a rate, a review and a subscribe. And then of course it comes directly to your tablet, laptop or your phone if you use iTunes. The UTS podcast is also on social media, so if you want to hear or find out a little bit more about the podcast, maybe some behind the scenes footages or some audio clips, make sure you go and check that out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. All of those are .com/the UTS podcast. We also have an official website where you can find out maybe more about us as presenters, maybe links to the YouTube show, all of our links to social media, and some of our guests as well. If you're a fan of the show, maybe you don't recognise a name in the list of guests, but you might be able to recognise someone from a picture. Go and check it out, utspodcast.com. All of the shows are listed there. They're all linked to SoundCloud, but we do have a list of other platforms that we feature on. So if you're not a SoundCloud app fan, you can go and find some that you can listen directly from your browser, such as Player FM, Podbean, Podbay, Pod Paradise is another one, iTunes again, Overcast FM, you name it. Go and check all of those links out. Once again, that's utspodcast.com.
Right, that's the end of the series. We've had a great time doing it. So yeah, thank you very much from myself, Moxy and Dan. I hope you've really enjoyed it, because we have. All I can say is Griff, Gareth, Rich Coleman, Harvey, Simon, Marie and Growler. Enjoy this. See ya.